Welcome, everyone. Oh, sorry for that. Welcome, everyone, to the Puck Drops here. This is Peter Fivefoot in day 15 of the coronavirus suspension. Yes, sadly, it's been 15 days, but we've got another video up and we got another chance to talk some hockey as if the league was going on. Obviously, I'll say my PSA: stay safe, everyone. Please don't do anything stupid. Don't go close to people, practice social distancing, and yes, we will continue this suspension as I hope I can be able to entertain all of you. Uh, yes, I'm wearing a Tampa Bay Lightning hat that will have some significance today. You'll have to stay and watch to see what significance. And let's dive in. Lightning in a bottle. The scores, of course, forgot the first time. It's a few times I've done that. The Columbus Blue Jackets play the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning score in the last minute late and win the game 3-1 off of an empty netter. McDonough empty netter, the game winner scored by Sergachev over the Columbus Blue Jackets in a little bit of a rivalry there. So Columbus, who really wanted 2 points, don't get any. The LA Kings battle St. Louis, and the Blues win 4-0. Game-winning goal scored there by Braden Shen. The Avalanche beat the Winnipeg Jets, and the Jets and the Avs go to overtime. Game-winning goal there scored with a point shot by Nikolai Ehlers. The play was all set up by Josh Morrissey, but Ehlers scores the goal to beat the Colorado Avalanche in overtime. The Stars head over to Chicago, and the Blackhawks beat down Dallas with a game-winning goal scored by none other but Patrick Kane. San Jose Sharks head over to Edmonton to play the Edmonton Oilers, and the game breaker, the best player in the NHL, comes up with the game-winning goal, Connor McDavid from Draisaitl and Athanasiou to win it. Game-winning goal there against San Jose, a 5-2 win. The Calgary Flames meet Vancouver. Vancouver trying to extend their lead in the Pacific Division, and they do. Vancouver gets a goal, a game-winning goal scored by Brock Besser, who comes back from his devastating injury. And that's a 4-3 win over the Calgary Flames. At the time, it made it 4-1, but Calgary came back, but not enough. Vancouver is able to get 2 points over the rival Flames. So let's get into the standings. The Boston Bruins, with 114 points, still they've played 77 games, but not too much window dressing here for Boston. They've already won the division. They already have a home ice advantage throughout the Eastern Conference, and they've already won the 2020 President's Trophy. They're just getting ready, gearing for the playoffs. The Tampa Bay Lightning collect 100 points to stay in second place in the Atlantic Division, as they've played 78 games, tied with their neighbors, the Florida Panthers, and the Red Wings for most games played in the Atlantic. The Panthers have 92 points, 8 points behind the Bolts. It's 78 games played. And the Toronto Maple Leafs hold 90 points and 77 games played, as well as a second wild card spot. On the list with Tampa Bay and Florida, Tampa Bay does not have has not clinched second in the division, but they're a point away or a Panther regulation loss away from second place in the Atlantic Division. The Maple Leafs have scored 90 points and have played 77 games, and they are in the second wild card spot behind Florida. In fifth place are the Canadiens with 79 points, 77 games played. Montreal is out of the playoff race. Buffalo is 75 points, 77 games played. The Sabres are out as well. Ottawa is in seventh place, and they are out as well with 65 points. And in eighth place with 44 points and 78 games played are the disastrously bad Detroit Red Wings. In the Metropolitan Division, with a 1-point lead of the division leader, the Flyers with 101 points and 77 games played. Also with 77 games played are the Capitals with 100 points, who have also clinched a playoff spot. In third place are the Pittsburgh Penguins with 99 points. 76 games played. The New York Islanders with 92 points with the first wild card spot in 77 games played. They have not clinched, though. New York Islanders have not clinched. I know one of the viewers was wondering if the Islanders had clinched a playoff spot. Not yet, but possibly soon. The Carolina Hurricanes have 88 points with 77 games played. 2 points behind Toronto. The New York Rangers are sixth in the Metro with 88 points and 77 games played. The Blue Jackets are a game behind them with 77 games played and 87 points, and the Devils have 72 points and 76 games played. So what's the significance for the Tampa Bay Hat? Well, the Lightning are officially in the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs. 5 teams in the Eastern Conference have clinched the division, so Lightning will be second or third. There's a slight chance with what's happening with Toronto that they might slip down to fourth, but it doesn't look likely in the division. But the Lightning are going to the Stanley Cup playoffs, which leaves 3 spots for the third team in the Atlantic Division, as well as a wild card team in the Atlantic Division. I apologize for that. I was just distracted for a little bit. But Devils, I said, are eliminated. So the third spot, which will also, it's going to be between 2 teams, the Panthers or the Maple Leafs, and in a wild card spot in the Eastern Conference, which is being fought with the loser of the third place race, either Florida or Toronto, the Islanders, the Hurricanes, the Rangers, and the Blue Jackets. Those are the teams fighting for those 2 wild card spots. In the Metropolitan Division, not the Metropolitan Division, went over that. Western Conference, Central Division, the Blues have 104 points at 77 games played. They're fighting right now with the Avalanche with 103 points. The Blues have played 77 games. The Avalanche have played 78 games. The Dallas Stars have played have 90 points and have played 76 games. Hold on one second. Yes, they also have 90 points, 76 games played for them, as was said, and 86 points for the Dallas Stars. 90 points in third place, 76 games played. I was just overviewing something with the Central. Because of the amount of points that are had, home ice is officially going to go to either Colorado or St. Louis. No team in the Pacific has enough games to play that can compete. So home ice is going to go through Denver or through the Arc. So I just wanted to alert you guys that all the other teams in the Western Conference have been eliminated from home ice contention, except for the Avalanche and the Blues. And the Avalanche are only 1 point behind the Blues, and the Blues have a game in hand. So talk about that. The Wild are in the second wild card spot with 86 points, 77 games played. The Nashville Predators still have 86 points, but are out of the playoff race right now with 76 games played. The Jets are 2 points behind them with 84 points, 77 games played. And I know one viewer actually was asking what team has been eliminated, because I did say that there would be a team eliminated today. And he was right. The Blackhawks are out of the playoffs due to a tiebreaker with the Wild. Chicago gets 81 points. They're finally out of the playoff race. 78 games played. They're the first team in the Central Division to be eliminated from Stanley Cup playoff contention. They join the Ducks, the Sharks, and the Kings. All teams of past glories. And speaking of the Pacific, the Oilers, who have the most games played, that have played the most games, and only have 3 games left to play, have scored 94 points and have played 79 games. The Golden Knights are 2 points behind them with 77 games played. Vegas is in second place in the Pacific. The Vancouver Canucks are also third, but now have tied the Golden Knights with 92 points. Yes, Vancouver could absolutely get in and try to even win this division. Obviously, they can't get home ice through the West because of what I had previously just said, or President's Trophy, because the Bruins have clinched that up. Calgary Flames are sitting in the first wild card spot with 88 points in 78 games played. The Arizona Coyotes hold 81 points in 76 games played. The Coyotes are still in it, though. The Ducks have 71 points and have played 77 games, but they are out of the playoffs. The Sharks, as well, with 69 points and 78 games played, are out, and so are the Kings with 66 points and 77 games played. So that's it for that. Let's look at the games coming up tomorrow. A lot of games and a lot of hugely important ones. The Penguins play the Carolina Hurricanes. Penguins are trying to get to, I believe, second place. I don't know if they can touch first. They actually can. The Pittsburgh Penguins can tie the Philadelphia Flyers. They would jump to second place with a win against Carolina. The Hurricanes are trying to get right back in that wild card spot that was relinquished. The New Jersey Devils are battling Philadelphia, and the Flyers are trying their best to stake a higher standing and a higher foothold. Philadelphia is. Boston plays Florida. Not too important for Boston, but extremely important for the Florida Panthers. The Washington Capitals play Detroit back at the Pizza Box. The second game in Detroit for the Caps, the third of the regular season meeting. The Islanders play the Canadiens, another team that's been eliminated from the playoffs. The last edition of the Battle of Ontario. Dreadful Ottawa hosts playoff hopeful Toronto, who right now holds the second wild card spot. The Islanders also hold the first. The Rangers are trying to get back into the playoff race. They play into Tampa. Also, something to look for if the Lightning, I believe, yeah, that's true. If the Lightning get a point against the Rangers or the Florida Panthers lose in regulation or both happen, the Tampa Bay Lightning will clinch second place in the Atlantic Division. Let me just see one thing with Toronto. I'm not sure if that's absolutely correct. As I look it over, 100. I believe Tampa does have the tiebreaker on them. Yes, Tampa has a slight. Tampa does have a slight tiebreaker on the. No, Toronto actually has a tiebreaker, so it doesn't matter. Tampa needs a point. Actually, yeah, if Tampa gets a point, they're in. If Tampa doesn't get a point, they need the Maple Leafs and the Panthers to lose in regulation. If either of those things happen, the Lightning clinch second in the Atlantic Division, and then they'll host either Toronto or Florida in round one. The Blue Jackets play Dallas. Dallas is trying to distance themselves from the Wild. They're going to play on the road almost assuredly, unless they become a wild card team in either Denver or St. Louis. But they're trying to distance themselves from the Minnesota Wild, so the old Minnesota team does not become a wild card. Columbus trying to sneak back into that playoff race. Dreadful Buffalo has no reason to play in this season, but they're still playing, and they play Minnesota, and the Wild are trying to edge themselves back into a higher playoff spot because they're fending off Nashville, who faces Arizona in an old playoff rematch where the Coyotes are trying to stake any sort of luck that they have against Nashville, who can jump into a playoff spot with some effort. And Anaheim is going to British Columbia to play the Canucks, and with some luck, the Vancouver Canucks could even climb tied for first place. A lot of stuff happening tomorrow. I don't believe anyone can clinch. I'm almost positive no one can clinch tomorrow, and I'm almost positive no one can be eliminated tomorrow. I don't know about Arizona. I think they can't be eliminated tomorrow, but there's a lot of stuff going on with seeding that we'll have to see as this season winds all the way down. And it probably, especially in the Atlantic Division, will come to the final day. And I hope you guys join on this channel and pay attention to that, as this is, again, Peter Fivefoot and the Puck Drops here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And stay safe. Happy hockey, everybody.